Welcome back to another episode of Maple City Bricks here. It is day 2 now of rebuilding some of my Star Wars Lego. This bucket is going to be interesting because I had actually forgotten that I had thrown a number of sets in here. If I were smart when I was packing, which obviously I wasn't, I would have put individual things in individual boxes. We did that like the last couple times that we moved. It was a bunch easier. But now I've got my Ultimate Collector Series AT-AT, a Star Destroyer, a Republic Cruiser, and an AT-TE in here. A lot of them are the same colors, so if there's pieces that have fallen off and are at the bottom, I have to now try to figure out which sets they go with. So let's get started. We're going to do a time lapse, unpacking, putting it on the table, and figuring out what needs to be rebuilt as we start this massive project. Let's go. All right, that took a little bit longer than I expected, although not too bad. I think it was like an hour last night when I actually filmed the intro. And then here, maybe 45 minutes just to finish up the AT-AT. I'm actually impressed because everything you see on this table here was in a 102-liter tote bucket. And I have to say that at first it looked pretty daunting. There were a lot of pieces, a lot of leftovers, but unlike the last box that I put together, there are 0 spare parts. Every single piece that came off has been put back in its original place. everything is 100% complete. So you can see we got the big AT-AT, small one, we have our snow speeder. I actually didn't even realize, might not even see it on the video here. I'll move some of these, but behind all of this, we actually had the United States Capitol building. That's how much I had in here. Can't even see it, but one of our architecture sets there, so that was a little surprise. I guess it was too big to fit in one of the other boxes, so I just shoved it in there. So yeah, everything in that table was in there. Now, one thing I'm going to be doing, we'll do a video on it. This guy, my Republic Cruiser, this is an old set, right? It's been around for a while. I've had it built for, I don't know, ever since I got it. It's a little crusty. Now, I'm not sure why. Maybe if you have any ideas in the comments, why some Lego sets get like this, it's almost like a film of crust on all the pieces. Like everything, every single part is just covered in like this little thin layer of brown film. I'm gonna take a bucket, I'm gonna fill it up with hot water, a little bit of peroxide, clean it up, use maybe one of our toothbrushes or brushes to clean it off, because effectively every single piece, even the stuff underneath, is really just, it's gross. There's like a gross texture to it. So I'm gonna try to clean that up. And unfortunately, a lot of it has yellowed. A lot of the pieces have yellowed. I've noticed too with some of the other ones, like my AT-TE, some of the gray pieces have turned a little yellow. Now, all of this stuff, all of our Lego was in the basement of our last house. It wasn't really exposed to any UV lights. I'm not sure why it's doing that. But if you have any thoughts about how to thoroughly deep clean Lego outside of hot water and peroxide and letting it soak for a while, let me know in the comments, because we do have some really old 80s space pieces that also need to be cleaned. So we're probably gonna be doing that this weekend. But point is, I'm excited. I got it all done. Everything's built. This guy, when I took it apart, I thought it was gonna sit in a bucket for a long time because it was just such a complicated disassembly process, but it worked out well. So now our next problem is finding a place to put these, because they can't stay on this table because we got more projects that need to be going on there. So that'll be our next step, is to find a Star Wars area, maybe my office. We'll get some storage units, but we're gonna need a lot because I have a lot of Star Wars Lego. But thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the time lapse and the music that we put to it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have these sets, or if you've always wanted them and you just couldn't find them, let me know. We have a little secret place that we'll tell you about that we know here in Ontario, if you're in Canada, that you might be able to find some old Lego sets, but you gotta comment and I'll tell you where it is. Until next time, thanks for watching and take care.